Right now, we're facing a man-made disaster of global scale. Our greatest threat in thousands of years. Climate change.
What is climate change? Climate change is a major global challenge today, and the world is becoming more vulnerable to this change. Climate change refers to the changes in Earth's climate condition. It describes the changes in the atmosphere which have been taking place over a period, ranging from decades to millions of years. It is also defined as a significant variation of average weather conditions like becoming warmer, wetter, or drier over several years. It's the longer-term trend that differentiates climate change from natural weather variability. It could be a change in how much rain in a place usually gets in a year, or it could be a change in a place's usual temperature for a month or season. The recent report from the United Nations predicted that average global temperature could increase by 6 degrees Celsius at the end of the century. Climate change has an adverse effect on the environment and ecosystem. With the help of this video, we will get to know the causes and effects of climate change and possible solutions to reduce it.
Humans have been on Earth for about 300,000 years, but we've only started polluting like this in the last 60. Our pollution stays in the air for thousands of years, creating a thickening blanket that traps heat in the atmosphere. That heat causes stronger hurricanes, bigger fires, more frequent floods, and the extinction of thousands of species. But there's good news. To stop the pollution blanket, we just have to stop polluting.
What causes climate change? The Earth's climate has always changed and evolved. Some of these changes have been due to natural causes such as volcanic eruptions, floods, forest fire, and etc. But quite a few of them are due to human activities. Burning coal, oil, and gas produces carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide. Cutting down forests or the deforestation, trees help to regulate the climate by absorbing the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. When they are cut down, that beneficial effect is lost and the carbon stored in the trees is released into atmosphere, adding to the greenhouse effect. Increasing livestock farming, cows and sheep produce large amount of methane when they digest their food. Fertilizers containing nitrogen produces nitrous oxide emission. Fluorinated gases are emitted from equipment and products that use these gases. Such emissions have a very strong warming effect up to 23,000 times greater than carbon dioxide.
Most of the people think of climate change as an environmental issue, but the World Health Organization has declared it is the biggest threat to the health in the 21st century. Climate is an urgent problem that affects our health in many ways now and in the future. Already we've seen a rise in extreme events like heat waves, floods, and bushfires. These events affect our health, threaten our food and drinking water supplies, and pollute the air we breathe. All of these issues affect our physical and mental health. There are simple things we can do all to protect ourselves and loved ones from the impact of climate change. And the best part is they help us to stay healthy and save money at the same time. For example, things like walking or cycling instead of driving, eating a diet full of fruit and veggies and whole grains, reducing the amount of processed and packaged foods you eat, and choosing tap water over bottled water and sugary drinks, not only to reduce your impact on the environment, but also improve your mental well-being. It's also important to look out for those who are most at risk to the immediate impacts of climate change, like the elderly, children, women, and people with chronic diseases. To adapt to our changing climate and make sure we're reducing the risk of further problems, we all need to work together. From government to industry to communities right down to individuals, we all play a part. How climate change affects biodiversity. As the Earth's conditions have changed, ecosystems and species either adapted or die off. Most species haven't time to adapt to climate change. Increasing temperatures in damp, natural disasters growing in frequency are prime example of how climate change is disrupting the natural balance. Humans are directly harmed because of climate change's negative effect on biodiversity. This includes loss of water sources and a higher rate of difficulty when obtaining certain medicines due to continued damage to the plants they are made from. The Millennium Ecosystem Assessment, which studies human impact on the environment, states that climate change is likely to become one of the most significant drivers of biodiversity loss by the end of the century. Just like us, plants and dumb animals need the world to be hospitable. If we can do our part to help them, they can help us too. Restoring habitats can remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This will help reduce climate change by removing all the excess carbon stored in the atmosphere. Also, conserving intact ecosystems such as mangroves can help reduce the disastrous impacts of climate change, such as flooding and storm surge. We can also do our part to fight climate change by burning less fossil fuels, by driving less, and lowering our intake of processed food. Humans, plants, and animals all must share this world. By working together, we can make sure it will be a safe place to live for generations to come.
Steps to be taken to reduce global warming and climate change. 1. Save energy at home. Use less energy by lowering by heating and cooling, switching to LED light bulbs and energy-efficient electric appliances, washing your laundry with cold water or hanging things to dry instead of using dryer. 2. Walk, cycle, or take public transport. The world's roads are clogged with vehicles, most of them burning diesel or petrol. Walking or riding a bike instead of driving will reduce greenhouse gas emissions and help your health and fitness. 3. Throw away less food. Throwing food away is wasting the resources and energy that we are used to grow, produce, package, and transport it. And when food becomes rotten in landfill, it produces methane, powerful greenhouse gas. Use what you buy and compost any leftovers. 4. Change your home source energy. If possible, see if you can switch to renewable sources such as wind or solar, or install solar panels on your roof to generate energy for your home. 5th, switch to an electric vehicle. If you plan to buy a car, consider going electric with more and cheaper models coming on the market. Even if they still run on electricity produced from fossil fuels, electric cars help reduce air pollution and cause significantly fewer greenhouse gas emissions than petrol or diesel-powered vehicles. 6. Reduce, reuse, repair, and recycle. Electronic clothes and other items we buy cause carbon emission at each point in production, from the extraction of raw materials to manufacturing and transportation goods to market. To protect our climate, buy fewer things, shop second-hand, repair what you can, and recycle. Lastly, plant a tree. A single tree will absorb a ton of carbon dioxide over its lifetime.
Trivia number 1. Did you know that rainforest destruction is a major cause of carbon dioxide release? Trees and forests are known as carbon sinks because they store carbon dioxide as they grow. When humans cut down rainforests and they are destroyed by wildfires, large amounts of carbon dioxide are released into the atmosphere. This contributes to the greenhouse effects and increases the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, contributing further to global warming. Trivia number 2. Did you know that the last 7 years have been the warmest on a record? Year 2016 to 2020 as the hottest year on the record according to NASA. Notably, 2020's temperature level was hit without it being an El Niño year as it was in 2016. Trivia number 3. Did you know that we are losing 1.2 trillion tons of ice each year? Since the mid-1990s, we've lost around 28 trillion tons of ice, with today's melt rate standing at 1.2 trillion tons a year. To help you put it into perspective, the combined weight of all human-made things is a 1.1 trillion tons. That's about the same weight as all living things on Earth. Trivia number 4. Did you know that the Philippines is the most vulnerable country when it comes to effects of climate change, having experienced 328 weather-related major events from 1994 to 2013. It is followed by Bangladesh, Vietnam, Pakistan, and Guatemala.
Simply put, if we don't protect nature, we can't protect ourselves.
The only way we can solve a problem is by a human solution. Never can we sit back and wait for miracles to save us. Miracles don't happen. Sweat happens. Efforts happens. Thought happens.